everybody, take two. You should be able to hear me now. Welcome to today's Naked Truth. Happy to have you here. Sorry I was a minute late. I legit just got out of the shower and my hair is like dripping down my back and it's really cold and a little bit distracting. But I'm happy to have you here, and thank you to everybody who showed up a little early in chat. You're amazing. I saw Cyclops was like, let's get the conversation started. My best games are Batman Arkham Trilogy, Kingdom Hearts Saga, Ghostbusters Video Game, and Spider-Man PS4. Awesome choices. And Cyclops started it off with a $20 super chat. Thank you so much for coming in and supporting this channel. As you know, just by having the title The Naked Truth, YouTube is like demonetized. I always request manual review, but it's a very small percentage of time that it works. So hello everybody and welcome. I was kicking around different topics of what to talk about today, and the only thing on my brain right now is E3, which for me starts tomorrow. I'm not down at EA Play today, although I did watch the Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order section of EA's stream this morning, and I missed the Sims 4 section because I was showering and getting ready for this, but I'm going to tune back in. If anybody saw it, please let me know. Let me know what all the news is. If anybody saw the Star Wars part of the stream this morning, let me know what you thought of the game. Oh, audio seems not right. Ooh, I bet I know why. Hold on 1 second, guys. I'm sorry about that. I forgot I was recording something with Lasercorn. Here we go. Let's try this. There, that should be better. Is that better? All right, let's see if that sounds any better. I was recording something with Lasercorn last night or the night before, and I had my audio settings a little bit changed around, but I think I got them back now. Let's see if it works. I'm waiting for the delay to catch up. I can hear you guys. Hold on. Oh, better. Okay, great. Jedi Fallen Order looks so good, says Tyler Boyce. Good. Okay, much better. Sorry about that. Glad that I was able to fix it. I know that sound is like the most important, and a lot of people actually listen to The Naked Truth as a podcast, so I apologize for the sound issue, but I'm glad we're good now. That's what I get when I change up my stuff. But that being said, if you guys know Lasercorn, check out his YouTube channel soon, because I'm going to appear in some gameplay videos with him pretty soon, with him and Joven and Sohinki. It should be pretty fun. But yeah, speaking of video games... Okay, good. I'm glad it sounds better for everybody. Cool. So today, because I have video games on the brain and E3 is coming up, and all I've been doing, I feel like for the past 2 weeks, is booking and confirming E3 appointments. I'm not going for any particular channel this time. Both Newegg and Geek and Sundry decided they didn't want to do any video coverage on the show floor, but I'm able to get in as someone who's a part of the games industry, so I'm going to do all the coverage for this channel. So if you don't like video games, I apologize in advance, because probably the next week and a half to 2 weeks of content on this channel is going to be lots and lots and lots of video game content from E3, but that's because that's what I'm excited about, so you might want to like tune out for the next week and a half or 2 weeks if you don't like video games. That being said, if you're looking for on the floor E3 coverage, not a ton of people are doing it, so this is a good place to find it. It's going to be cool. Oh, Tyler says I met Lasercorn at 2-Bit Circus. He's a pretty swell guy. He's a super swell guy, and he's on Nerds with Kids with me, if any of you guys watch Nerds with Kids. So yeah, because E3's been on my brain, video games have been on my brain, I realized I know I did a Naked Truth on video games, but I don't think I did a like best video game ever and what makes video games so great, Naked Truth. So that's what we're doing today. Tyler, someday if you want to do video game press, you totally can. I believe in you. Damien says I'm really excited about Halo. Ooh, then you'll be excited for the giveaway that I mentioned at the end of this stream. Say what? Yeah, I'm doing a Halo giveaway. You know what, I might as well plug it now since we brought it up. Halo Outpost Discovery is a touring fan experience that is going to have like themed immersive attractions and stuff to bring the world of Halo to life. And it's coming to 5 different cities in the US. And Microsoft was nice enough to reach out to me. My good buddy Jeff over at Microsoft was like, hey, do you want to give away some tickets to your viewers? And I was like, yes. So I'm starting a giveaway with them. The link is in the description if you want to enter it. But it's just, I like being able to partner and pass on that kind of stuff to you. I will definitely be at the LA one because I think it sounds awesome. Please let there be a warthog that I can ride in because that's what I want in my life. But yeah, so check out the link in the description if you want to enter. It's completely free. And yeah, there's a lot of different ways to enter. So it's kind of like a build your own giveaway kind of thing, but it's fun. Okay, so getting into the actual topic of today, because E3's been on my mind and video games have been on my mind, it got me thinking, you know, what makes video games so special? And this is something I've talked about a lot in my career. And I think that there are a variety of reasons, and I think that everybody has their own answer to this. But in general, I feel like video games, yes, they're an art form. I think we can all agree on that at this point. But they are a new way of storytelling that is different from books, different from comics, different from movies. Video games are really their own art form. So it's more immersive, I feel, than any of those other types of media that I just mentioned, because you actually go on the journey in a lot of games. You experience the emotions of the protagonist because you are facing the same difficulty and you are actually overcoming the challenges. In certain types of games, you're even guiding the narrative and helping form what the narrative's going to be. And that just adds such a special layer to it for me. And it makes games, it kind of opens the door for video games to just be a brand new kind of experience. And it's funny because for me, the closest thing I can link it to is like back in the day, choose your own adventure books. But of course, that's minus the amazing visuals, the amazing soundtrack, and everything else that takes the emotions to new heights. But I do love choose your own adventure books, I have to say. But yeah, because video games can do all of these things, it's one of the reasons I believe that Hollywood has such a hard time translating video games into movies, because it's almost like you're getting the same experience, just minus a whole chunk of immersive wonderfulness. And I think that's why it doesn't really transfer when people are just trying to take the same narrative that's in the video game and turn it into a movie. Like, it feels like it's missing something, and I think that's what it is, personally. But some of my top favorite video games, so I know I called this one best video game ever, and I will get to that, but these are kind of like the honorable mentions just because I love games, and this is a very personal thing. So my best video game ever is, in my opinion, of course. But some of my favorites that got honorable mentions are Super Mario World, taking it back in the day. I think we can all, you hear Super Mario World and everybody knows that music, and everybody's like, a lot of people's muscle memory just jumps right back to knowing exactly where all the secrets are and what to do in every level. And Super Mario World's a killer. Ocarina of Time, the narrative in Ocarina of Time is absolutely stunning, and I felt paved the way for a lot of games to come after it. Portal, when it comes to puzzle games, a lot of the puzzle games at that time were kind of lacking in narrative, and Portal definitely was not. Tetris, I would say, is one of the best games of all times from an accessibility standpoint. Tetris was put out there as one of those games that, you know, it's not just for little boys or little girls or adolescents. Like, this is a game that grandma can pick up and figure out how to play. This is a game for everyone that everybody can enjoy. When it comes to best games of impact for me, meaning like games that are impactful on our society, I think that Dragon Cancer was amazing. If you guys have been following me for a while, you may remember when I live streamed that game and cried my eyeballs out harder than I've ever cried before, and did it live on stream. That Dragon Cancer, I think, was such a great, impactful game because it was a brand new way of paying homage to someone's life. So if you're unfamiliar with that game, it was written by parents who lost a child to cancer, and instead of writing a book as a memoir or something like that, they created a game to remember this child. And it was, thank gosh I played it before I had kids, because I don't know that I could get through it now. It was rough. But that being said, it was the most emotionally moved I have ever been in a video game, hands down. And I think it was a really, really big statement for video games as a type of media and as an art form. Another game that I'll say that was absolutely fantastic was Shadow of the Colossus, the original Shadow of the Colossus. I loved that you were set in a world where you were just left to your own devices and you had to explore, and your mind had to fill in the gaps, and the story itself, as you started to piece it together, was really strong. And I don't want to say anything about it in case people haven't played it, but it's a wonderful game. They did do a remaster of it a couple years ago, but I've actually read mixed reviews on the remaster. Some people felt like they kind of liked leaving more to the imagination in the original, but up to you. I see you guys listing some great games in chat, and we're going to get to that in just a second. Supermanico says, Tetris is my mom's favorite game, smiley face. Yeah, good for everybody. Kawaja says, love playing Tetris. It's a childhood classic for me. Totally. Ace Combat game is pretty good, says Tyler Boyce. Okay, I haven't played the Ace Combat games, but now that I will add them to my to play list. Joel Brown says the best video game ever made for me is Mega Man Battle Network 2 for the Game Boy Advance. I played it so much I broke the cartridge and needed a new one. I love stories like that. Okay, so that being said, let's make it personal. My best video game ever, and those of you who've been following me for years can probably guess this, but my top video game, and part of it, yes, is of course nostalgia, but I will give you reasons that are not nostalgia based for why I think this is a top video game. And this is a hot take because critics disagree. I think it only has like an 83% Metacritic or something like that, but for me, it's Myst. Myst is a game that came out in 1993 from Cyan Inc. by Robin and Rand Miller, brothers Robin and Rand Miller. It's a graphic adventure puzzle game, and it was way ahead of its time, in my opinion. Now, that being said, I didn't get my hands on it until after the year 2000. So it had been out probably not 10 years yet, but almost 10 years when I first experienced Myst, and even then I still felt like it was way ahead of its time. It was one of the first CD-ROM games, so everyone was like, the graphics, they're amazing, because of that technology. Yes, Tyler Voice, Myst, that is my take. It also was the first game that I had played that drops you in the middle of nowhere with no explanation. Like at that time, way back in the day, do you guys remember video games a lot of times came with a little instruction booklet that told you, it was instead of having tutorials in game, you had a little instruction booklet that showed you all the items and told you what they did and gave you the backstory of the world you're in and who you are and that kind of stuff. Myst did none of that. It just dropped you into the game and you had to figure out who you were, where you were, what you were even supposed to be doing there. And that to me was so immediately immersive. I needed to have all the answers and I was stuck in this world and it was crazy and awesome and I loved it. So you're stuck in this fictional world of Myst Island. And at least for me also was the first kind of open world game that I played. You could just kind of roam around with no rhyme or reason. And there wasn't really a way of death. You would just kind of get stuck and have to figure it out. But despite the critics not being rave reviews when it comes to Myst, it was the best-selling PC game until The Sims in 2002, which is a game I also love. But I should preface, I'm a PC gamer, so my choices are going to skew towards PC over console. But yes, it made such an impact on so many people. So no matter which critics want to, try to rip it apart for lots of different things, I think the fact that it sold so many copies for so long, like I said, I didn't get to it until before The Sims came out, so I was probably one of the last people helping it be the best-selling PC game, but it was the best-selling PC game for almost 10 years. That's nuts. Both the New York Times and Wired said that they looked at it and were like, hey, this is that's the first time people were talking about video games evolving into an art form, was this game. So not all the critics hated it. Like I said, I think it had like an 83%. It was also the first game that I played and one of the first games at that time that was aimed at adults and not at kids, which I think, again, is why it was so impactful and grabbing, because it felt like it was dealing with adult themes. Some people considered your virtual morality in that game like a very religious experience. And it was a great nod to stories being able to be told through objects and not necessarily needing people to come in and like exposition tutorial. You just had to figure it out. And I loved that. It was very, very challenging. And when I first played it, people had said to me, oh, you're never going to beat it without a walkthrough. You need a walkthrough. And I was very determined and stubborn and was like, I will not. So I sat down for 48 hours. I was in college at the time that I first experienced it. Actually, my freshman year of college, if I think about it now. And Yeah, I don't think I ate for 2 days. I was almost a news story. But I was determined. And when I beat it, it was such a wonderful sense of accomplishment because I really felt like I did this on my own. There was zero hand-holding of the game throughout. I never, there was no like needing a hint or anything like that. It was all my brain that figured it out, or at least that's how the game made me feel, which is awesome. So yeah, this game for me is so huge because it totally grabbed me and didn't let me go. I couldn't do anything else. I love the story. I love the puzzles. I think they're challenging and amazing. And actually, Disney almost made a theme park inspired by it. One of Disney owns a lot of property in Florida that they haven't used yet. And one of the islands they own was almost developed into a mist island, which is insane. There's also a Hulu show, I think, that was being developed ages ago. And I think it might still be in development, holding out. Chad Moore, thank you for the super chat, and says, best immersive game ever. Yeah, I know a lot of people feel that way. It's not just me. And I wanted to show off. We're going to do a little show and tell here. I showed this off on my Instagram. But this is an actual mist linking book, and I love it so, so much. In fact, when I first opened it up, it made me cry. And let me show you guys why. Here we go. Ready? So good. This is the beginning of the game, by the way. So good. And I'm going to shut it because I don't want to get a copyright ding for the music. But anyway, this mist linking book is absolutely gorgeous. This was a Kickstarter backer reward for either Abduction or Firmament. I don't know, maybe Abduction, because I feel like I backed it a long, long time ago. But these are more modern games by Cyan Inc., which, because I'm such a Myst fan, I support everything that they do moving forward. But this thing is so good. For years, I looked on Reddit, and people had found ways to like make their own linking books and make them work and stuff like this. But this one is officially from Cyan, and I love it, and I'm obsessed with it. In fact, when I got it in the mail and I opened it, because I had backed it probably a year before I got it, when I opened it in the mail and I got it, I started crying when I opened it, and I freaked out, and I was like running in place and squealing really high, and Nate was like, what is happening? What is happening? Because like I said, I didn't know it was going to arrive then, and it just took me such by surprise that, so I freaked out, and I Instagram storied it immediately. And after I had finally calmed myself down and could explain to Nate exactly what this was, he was like, I don't think I've ever seen you that happy in my life, including our wedding day and the day of the birth of our son. Now, I have to assume he's exaggerating, but it was utter joy. I was way back to like a kid on Christmas morning opening the big gift. But it was astounding. I see, have you checked to see how rare it is, says Xander Crease. I forget how many of them they said they would make in the Kickstarter, but I absolutely adore it. So, best video game ever for me? Myst. And if you haven't played it, I encourage you to check it out. You can still get it on PC. And don't let anyone tell you anything about the story. Don't read any walkthroughs. Don't get any hints. Just go in and experience it. It's awesome. Okay, so now it's the time that I'm going to open it up to you guys for questions, because this is an interactive show, hence doing it live. So what makes a good video game to you? If you're going to say, like, this is my best game of all time, what is it about games that makes it awesome? Is it the graphics? Is it story? Is it the mechanics and the gameplay and the difficulty? Is it the accessibility? Is it the emotional impact? What makes a good game to you? And I listed graphics first because when I was watching the Jedi Fallen Order stream on EA Play this morning on Twitch, the entire Twitch chat was like, "Ooh, these graphics look awful." Like, that's all anyone could comment on, was that this game looks so bad, the graphics look so awful. And I was like, is that really, like, the big only thing people care about when it comes to new games? Because that seems to be the thing that I see people crap on the most often and like judge a game by on first impressions. So I don't know. What is it to you? Damien Rahul says, obviously story. Anthony says, for me, it's the story, the character, and the world, and the gameplay. So all of it, the whole package. Dyla Dino says, I think the fidelity of the gameplay is most important. Okay. Let's see. Oh, thank you, Tyler, for reposting the question. I just saw that in chat. You're amazing. And thank you for the sub, New World Nerds. Happy to have you. Lufus says, story is extremely important, more important than graphics, in my opinion. Okay. Tyler says, the number one thing I look for in video games is story. Number 2 is gameplay. Darkest Argentum says, a good video game makes you want to keep playing in the world even after the credits roll. I agree. PSW says, mostly gameplay. Is it fun or not? I mean, good point. If the gameplay is not fun, I don't know that it matters how good the story is. Maybe. It depends who you are. Xander says, core mechanics, getting to know exactly how a game works and fits together. Unreal Fury says, I'd take a great story with interesting characters over looks any day. Well, I mean, a huge company that goes against the graphics thing all the time is Nintendo. Nintendo's like, I don't care if I have cartoony graphics that are not uber realistic looking and very hardware taxing. Like, I'm just going to make a really fun game and people are going to love it. And they've been making huge strides with that. Sensei6375 says, Final Fantasy VII. Had never played a game like it before. The depth at the time blew me away. I know, I hope we get more information on the remake at E3. Please, 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 please. I'm going to die. I hope so. It takes us to a different world that is different from ours, enjoying the time away from real life, says Yoshino. I agree. Yeah. Okay, next question. What is your best video game ever? What is your greatest of all time video game? Share it in chat. Tyler says, BioWare ruined video games for me in the best way possible. Every game needs to have some kind of story-driven RPG elements in order for me to love it. I get it. That's how I feel about the Lock and Key comic series. I feel like it ruined other comics for me because it was so good. I get it. Christian Polson says, to me, it's how into it I get. When I play my favorite games, I forget the real world exists. That's a great place to be. For me, I play video games as well for escapism. So if I can just like get super immersed into the game and kind of ignore the rest of life for a little while, that is an amazing experience for me. So Damien Rahul says, Resident Evil 4 is your greatest video game of all time. Dino says, Mario 3, great choice. I'm going to add that to my honorable mentions as well. Tyler says, don't make me choose, Trisha. Curtis says, PlayStation 1, Tekken 2. PlayStation 2, Minority Report / Shadow of the Colossus. Xbox 360, Mirror's Edge. PS4, oh my god, a lot. Game Boy, Street Fighter Alpha 3. I played a lot, so I can't really pick one. I like how you did it by console, though. That's pretty cool. So, like, by generation of game. Big Preston says Diablo 2 and 3. I love the Diablo series. I'm right there with you. Tulufus says Xenogears from PS1. Act 125 says Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Dragon King says Red Dead Redemption 2010. Unreal Fury says Mass Effect 2 is my favorite all time. Shame it went downhill so much. Womp womp. Bobby Carroll says, hi, how's your day going? It's going good, Bobby. How's yours? I'm just trying to skim through these so I can get to everyone's favorite games. Backsorn says favorite overall game and franchise is Fallout for me. The level of snark is high and you can be an anti-hero. That's true. New World Nerds says my favorite game is Pokemon Red or Sonic Adventure 1. When I plug in those games, I'm home. I get it. Sketchy Fella says favorite video game was Fallout 3. Not for great gameplay or anything, but it was my introduction to the world of Fallout. It's an amazing world, and I think there should be more media set there. Have they made any Fallout books? Does anybody know? Let me know. KOTOR, Thomas Moffat. Again, great pick. Great pick. Kavaja says, best video game in my book, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Gameplay mechanics were top-notch, and that every character from the past Smash Bros. Series. I bet you're looking forward to some Smash Bros. News coming up this week. Anthony says, Lunar 2 Eternal Blue is my favorite game of all time. I do not know that game at all. Anthony says, so much that I cosplay the main character. Yay! Okay, well now I'm writing down here on the side, Lunar 2. So that I can check it out. Thank you for that. Curse you, character limits. Dead Island was great, said nobody, says Curtis Jeremiah. Oh, Ace Combat 5, says Tyler Boyce. Yeah, thank you guys for chiming in here. These are great. Are there any games that you are looking forward to right now? So like I said, I am going to be doing E3 coverage primarily for this channel. So if there's any games in particular you want me to like make sure that I cover and get on here, I will. That being said, I am not video game royalty, so I can't waltz right in and cover everything. But if I have a connection at that company, which I'm amazed how many appointments I was able to secure completely on my own this year. That's very exciting. So yay. So I will have a lot of gameplay videos going up here, and I'm going to try to focus on less like interviews, because I feel like sometimes those interviews, like by the time the person's doing the 50 millionth interview of the day at E3, they're giving the same answers, and I don't think they're the most fun. I think the more fun way to do it is I'm going to try to capture my actual hands-on gameplay for any of the stuff that I play while I'm there, and then I will show that with like a little camera, like a face cam in the corner to you guys, because you know me, I don't like to go in and be like, this person's work is crap, because it's hundreds of people, or most of the time, lots and lots of people, lots and lots of hours of work, and I don't feel like it's my place to crap on all that. But I like to show you what I've experienced and then let you make the decision, because you're smart people and you know what you like to play. So that's what I'm going to be doing. So look for those. The Avengers game, everybody's saying. I don't know that the Avengers game is going to be playable, but yes, I'm excited to see more about it. Tyler Boyce says, Baldur's Gate 3! Oh, the Baldur's Gate series is so good. I haven't played the first two, but hearing everyone's love for those games has me hyped. They're amazing games, although considering we just like first found out about it, I don't know that there's going to be gameplay at E3, but if there is, you bet your buttons I'm going to be there. Darkest Argentum says Beyond Good and Evil 2 and Watchdog Legions are the two I really want to see. Okay, good. I might have a hookup for Beyond Good and Evil. Fingers crossed. Tyler Boyce says, also D&D Live introduced me to Baldur's Gate lore from the tabletop RPG side. Yeah, gosh. Baldur's Gate series is such an incredible RPG series. Jeremy Coleman says the Final Fantasy VII remake. Yeah, me too. I am very, very stoked. Ooh, and Bloodlines 2. I already have an appointment for Bloodlines 2. So, yes. Good. Well, I'm glad you guys are stoked about the same games I am. So, like I was saying, make sure that you tune into this channel for my E3 coverage. For me, I'm starting seeing some of the games as early as tomorrow. Microsoft has been very kind to me. I have a buddy over there that I got to know better at South by Southwest Gaming this year, who is the one who hooked me up with the Halo giveaway tickets, which again, the link is in the description if you want to enter that giveaway. And he also hooked me up with some Microsoft appointments starting tomorrow so that I can actually have videos go up the week of E3, which is very exciting. So yeah, I mean, if you guys have anything you want me to cover, definitely mention it in the comments and I'll see what I can do. If I can pull the connections, I will. If you have any future Naked Truth topics you would love to see a video on, please let me know. I just looked recently and this might be the 177th episode of Naked Truth. So we've done a lot of these. So it is getting harder and harder for me to come up with topics. I feel like Table Talk back in the day on SourceFed, where it was like, what do we even talk about anymore? So please suggest some if you have something that you want to hear about, and if you want to continue the conversation or help give topics or anything like that in my Discord server. I'm going to post that link as well. We have a Naked Truth channel in my Discord community where we keep up the conversation in between Naked Truth streams. So for the next 2 weeks after E3, I'm going on vacation because I feel like that's what everybody should do after E3. So after E3, I'm going on vacation, which is only a 1 week vacation, but I'll be traveling both weekends. So there won't be another Naked Truth for a couple weeks because it won't be until after that. But yeah, thank you guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. Thank you to both Cyclops and Chad Moore for the super chats. I appreciate you so very much. And yeah, the next time I'm going to be live, I'll probably do a quickie live stream tomorrow morning on my Twitch channel. But it's going to be real fast because then I'm going to have to get my butt together and drive into downtown LA for the Xbox E3 event. So exciting! And I'll be doing like Instagram stories and stuff live from the event if the Wi-Fi and connection allows. You never know with those things. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and please tune in to my E3 coverage this week, and let's chat more video games in the comments of those videos too. Huzzah! Awesome. So let's see. I'm going to not stop it on a weird face this time because every time I say I'm not going to do that, but this time I'm actually not going to. So have a wonderful rest of your weekend, guys. Bye.